Hey, this is Grandma. I'm going to read you a story today, and it's called Totally Bored Boris. Boris had played with all his toys. He had read all of his books, but now he didn't know what to do next. He thought and he thought, but he couldn't think of anything to do. Boris was totally bored. Finally, Boris got up and went to his father. He tooted his trumpet and said, "Let's do something." "I'm doing something," said his father. "I'm busy painting. Why don't you go fishing?" "Fishing is no fun to do alone," Boris said. "Please do something with me." "I can't right now, son," said his father. "Why don't you read a book?" "I'm tired of my books," replied Boris. So Boris hoped that his mother would do something with him. "Oh, I'd love to, sweetheart," she said, "but I promised your sister I'd bake some cookies with her. Why don't you help us?" "No, no, no," cried Boris. "I don't like my sister, and I hate baking cookies." And he stomped back to his room. He's got an angry face. Not being very nice, is he? Boris could hear happy noises coming from the kitchen, and the fluttering and the laughter made him feel even worse. He decided to go to his tree house. "So your sister's making some cookies with Mommy, huh? Maybe there's something to play with there," he said, and he took his trumpet with him, just in case there wasn't. But as soon as Boris had climbed up in the tree, he saw that there was nothing to do. It was as boring as being back in his room. "What can I do? What can I do?" he asked himself over and over again. And there were lots of things he didn't want to do, but nothing he really wanted to do. Got a sad face, huh? Suddenly, a huge cardboard box came walking by. From the inside came the voice of Boris's sister chanting, "I'm on my way to build a castle, but no one will know where it is. It's a secret." Well, from Boris's tree, he could see exactly where she was going. Building a castle, he thought. What a boring idea. If I had that box, I would make a spaceship out of it, he thought. He kept watching as his sister and her friends began their work. Cutting and making a big castle, aren't they? Well, soon Boris saw everyone pasting and cutouts and buttons on the castle and painting pictures on the walls. Boris knew what he would have done instead. A spaceship would need rockets and aerials and lots of other things. But then he remembered. He was much too bored to do anything anyway. They look like they're having lots of fun, don't they? Making a great castle. The next thing Boris saw was his sister and her friends carrying streamers and crepe paper. "Oh, I guess they're going to go have a party," Boris thought. "So what? I hate parties." But he kept watching them from his tree. Here they are, hanging some streamers and blowing up some balloons, and uh-oh, the porcupine is going to fly away with all those balloons. "Mother gave us all her old jewelry and clothes to play dress-up in," said his little sister, and very loudly as she passed under Boris's tree a few minutes later. "I'll be a princess, but you won't see it," she added. Of course he would see it, Boris thought to himself, and he acted as if he weren't even interested. The dress-up sounded very noisy and cheerful. Boris imagined what he would dress up as if it were his party, a spaceman, or even an alien from a strange planet. They're all dressed up, aren't they? Now here's poor Boris over here just being so sad. But then Boris saw the others were having a good time anyway, and that made him feel all out of sorts. When they posed so the princess could take their snapshot, Boris threw twigs down at them, but they were having too good of a time to even notice. Throwing all these leaves down on them. They didn't even notice. They're all smiling and being happy together, huh? Then his sister said to her friends, "Now, let's have a party." "Oh no, I mean a royal feast," remembering that she was now a princess. She walked proudly by Boris's tree again, this time carrying a bowl filled with warm cookies. Ooh, look at those cookies. The sweet smell of the freshly baked cookies drifted up to Boris's treehouse. The pitcher of juice made him feel thirsty. But nobody paid any attention to him. They were too busy laughing and eating and having a good time together. "Ah, this is too much," said Boris. Boris couldn't bear it any longer. He picked up his trumpet and he blew it as loud as he could. Blah! And then again and again. Blah! Blah! When he stopped, there was silence. There was no more talking or giggling, and the trumpet noise had worked. It had put an end to their silly fun and stupid party. Boris felt very pleased with himself. But suddenly he heard his name called from below. Who do you think's calling his name? "Boris, a trumpeter is just what the royal feast needs," called one of the guests. "How about it? Will you be the king's trumpeter?" Boris thought about it. Thought to say something very rude, but then he thought for a moment and said, "Maybe I could be the trumpeter, but I'll only do it if I get 20 cookies." "How about 3?" his sister said, looking at the almost empty bowl. "Okay," said Boris. "That's a fair price." And he climbed down from the tree. Here he comes. And the party turned out to be fantastic. The trumpeter trumpeted and the king drummed and the royal court danced, and Boris forgot all about his boredom and nothing-to-dos. Here he is, standing on top of the castle. Having a good time now, huh? But he didn't forget about the cookies, which the princess had saved especially for him. Love you guys. Hope you had fun with this story. Until next time. Love you.